you were coming to Chautauqua Institution to the International Humanitarian Law Roundtable. What did they tell you? What did you expect?
Okay, I was invited by David Crane.
Right.
He's a great friend of Ukrainian Bar Association and of Ukraine. So I was totally amazed by the chance of coming here, because I know he's as a professional, he's a former prosecutor to Special Tribunal for Sierra Leone. So I know that this gathering of the professionals of criminal, international and humanitarian law will definitely benefit our task of prosecuting, Russian officials and soldiers against their crimes in Ukraine.
You probably didn't think you'd be even talking about this last year at this time. I mean, obviously things have happened since February.
Yeah. My professional background, I'm a commercial litigation lawyer. So I've never practiced before criminal, humanitarian, international law. So now I've been challenged by this, and not just me, but as many lawyers in Ukraine. So now we're trying to understand how we can use all tools, to prosecute Russians.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about you. Were you destined to be a lawyer?
Yes, I think yes. I've dreamed about this profession since I was, I think, 14 years old. At that time, we had two most popular professions, is economist and lawyers. So I choose to be the lawyer, which was popular, as I mentioned, but it became not just my profession, but my life.
And as such, how did you get into the profession? You obviously got educated, and where did you go to law school?
Kyiv University.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's one of the top Ukrainian university, National Kyiv University of Taras Shevchenko. So yes, I made my degree there. And how I became the commercial litigation lawyer, it's an interesting question. So I had my practice at the Commercial Court of Kyiv. And since then, I decided to devote my profession to litigation.
So you originally started off in private practice, right?
Yes, actually I'm doing this now.
Yeah. And as a result of that, you kind of worked your way to being the president of the Ukrainian Bar Association.
Yes, so I was elected to I was elected almost 1 year ago, but Ukrainian Bar Association is the non-government organization which unites lawyers from all professions. Mm-hmm. So it's not just private lawyers, attorneys, it's judges, prosecutors, law enforcement officers, etc. So we're very a big community, and this year we become 20 years. So before the war, we had a plan to have a celebration, but now our plans has been changed. But nevertheless, it's a great community.
So the Ukrainian Bar Association, do they feel like they've been charged with looking at what theories might be, what causes of action might be against the Russian?
Yes. So just after the invasion, we launched a helpline for Ukrainian citizens, where we, on pro bono basis, We answering all questions regarding the war, because you know our people they faced like very tough situations. It's not just regarding mobilization or how to move to another country, but you know, property issues. Can we?
Sure.
Will you cut?
Yeah, we cut. Yeah, we cut. Yeah.
Will you cut? How do we say it? So people they are losing their property,
Right.
and they want to understand in what way they can compensate. They can compensate their damages. So we are working on this. We are working on the issue how to get rid of the sovereign immunity of Russian Federation. You know, to have a possibility to sue against Russian property, which is all over the world. We promoted sanctions as well. We promoted the establishment of the special tribunal against crime of aggression. Mm-hmm. We are helping to collect evidence. We're helping prosecutors. We're helping other non-government organizations who are working on this sphere. You know, the scale of the crimes is unbelievably big, huge. So everyone who has knowledge and possibility and who can help should be involved in this. So that is why we think that Ukrainian Bar Association is very helpful, and we do help state authorities, our citizens, and lawyers as well.
Within the government itself, Zelensky has I assume, a Department of Justice. Are you working directly with the Department of Justice for kind of gathering evidence and war crimes, etc.?
No, they have a Prosecutor General Office.
Okay.
So they are entitled to do this. But we are working together with the other organizations, especially in sphere of digital investigation. Mm-hmm. And actually we are working together with the Global Accountability Network and David Crane as well.
Right.
Yeah, because you know it's the information through the social media, other media is such of increased number, and you have to cover everything. So we are doing this.
Wow, it's a big project for a president of the Ukrainian Bar Association. Think about what you just told me. You know, it's a big project. How do you prioritize those items? I mean, are there one that's kind of a bigger topic for you than others?
Yes, as I mentioned, so the priority is the legal answer to the aggression. So it's war crimes, investigation, collecting evidence. So it's one topic. The other one is the consolidation of international legal community. So we ask everyone to speak loud, to speak up, not to, you know, to hide the problem. So we need to talk very hard topics, but we need to speak up. And the other of one of the three priorities is to help lawyers as well. You know, because the legal profession now in Ukraine, it's a little bit decreasing. I mean, in means of finance and funds, etc. So we are trying to relocate lawyers, to find jobs for them. We're asking other law firms, other associations, just to take care of those who came out from Ukraine and who relocated to other countries.
I'm sure you've been looking at a number of proposals or ideas as to what form a tribunal would look like for war crimes. Do you have a sense, I realize this is only 6 months, a sense of how it might look? What a tribunal will look like?
It's a quite tough and political question,
Yep.
but I'm glad that we passed the stage whether this tribunal should be or not should be. So everyone agreed that yes, we have to do this. And the other question is, in what way? Mm-hmm. So for me, it's not the prime question, it's the second question. So whether it will be under the United Nations or Council of Europe, I think it's the political issue.
Right. And as such, is there a sense that the domestic courts, I mean, if this is the crimes are occurring in sovereign Ukraine, would they have the capabilities, do you think, the infrastructure to try war crimes?
I think so. They will have capability, but the problem is that we need to find the balance between the quality of justice and the speediness. So, because we are waiting for the speed decisions, but this decision should comply all international standards. So, that the first verdict was already made by Ukrainian court. Mm-hmm. But actually for the lifelong sentence for the Russian soldier. But then it changed. The Court of Appeal changed it. So, and the reason why, because it did not totally comply with the international standards. Mm. So that is why I know that the Supreme Court of Ukraine, the whole judiciary, they are working closely with the international experts in this sphere, just to make sure that they will follow all international standards.
You must wonder sometimes, you're a commercial litigator. I mean, that's what you started off as.
Exactly.
Breach of contract and
tax litigation. One of my favorite.
And so here you are now on a stage.
Unexpectable.
Yeah, can you imagine? Could you ever think this could be?
No way, no way, no. We had so many plans how to increase the role of lawyer, how to establish a rule of law, how to promote women in law, how to make legal education better. So we were focusing on this, but suddenly after the 24th of February, everything has changed, and now we are working just make sure to restore the rule of law in Ukraine.
So you're the managing partner of what is called the LCF Law Group.
It's litigation, corporate finance. So it's basically what we are mainly do.
But you've had the firm sort of let you take a leave of absence here, and
I'm trying to combine, which is difficult. So I'm visiting Ukraine, Kiev, for sure once a month. I'm staying there for up to 2 weeks, trying, to combine my role here in Ukrainian Bar Association and as a managing partner at LCF, and also trying to find a way to spend some time with my family.
Yeah. So LCF is located where, in London?
No, in Kiev. The main office is in Kiev.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about, where were you when you first heard that the invasion started?
So I was lucky because we were outside Kiev, Ukraine. We were on vacation.
Okay.
So basically I was sleeping, and it was first time when I did not put my phone on mute mode. So we had like a team message, and I just received it immediately when my colleagues, they heard the missile hit. So I woke up and I was just shocked. Nobody, of course we were following all news, but nobody would expect full invasion at the way that it was made.
6 months now have passed. How do you gauge your fellow countrymen and your president? Because it seems like to the outside, there's a lot of devastation, terrible crime, but sort of has come to a standstill. Is that accurate?
He's an actual leader. He's courage, brave president, and we are all lucky to have him.
Can you gauge the population, their mood at this point?
So it's, I think the mood of population, it's what the president of Russian Federation miscalculated before. We are totally against Russian Federation. We are totally against being a part of Russian Federation. So everyone, I don't know a single person who is for this war and who is for reunion with, let's say, reunion with Russian Federation. So we are ready to fight till the end.
Yeah.
And we do everything to win. And it doesn't matter where we have this battle, which front line, legal front, medicine, education, international affair. Each professional is doing the best what he or she can do to win.
You are the president of the legal front line.
Yes.
From the private side.
From the private sector, yeah.
There's the public sector going on too. Do you personally feel that pressure?
Totally.
Yeah.
The pressure is unprecedented, and the challenges which the international legal order is facing is unprecedented as well. So we need to find this solution. Otherwise, not just Ukraine, but other countries will face the same. That is why we are forcing to use, to find the way. Because, I'm frequently asked, you are a lawyer, why United Nations can't do anything? Why Red Cross is doing nothing? Why we can't understand where the soldiers from Azov are now? Why no? There is no answer.
I think you're here today at Chautauqua, and there are lots of prosecutors here from the International Criminal Court, Sierra Leone, Rwanda, Cambodia. They've all had experiences. What do you hope to achieve here today?
I want to have an answers
Yeah,
for those questions.
yeah.
How we can do it. Although I understand that, the scale of aggression, the scale of crimes is a little bit different from what we had in the past, and the counterparty is Russia, which makes this situation differ from others. But nevertheless, we need to find the solution. So I hope to ask the question, to discuss, and to find the solution.
Well, they're here, and I know the International Criminal Court is investigating at this point, and the deputies here, as well as other people. Are there certain best practices perhaps you'd like to get, saying, all right, aside from the answers to those questions you just posed, but how to proceed?
So maybe we are not, of course we had experience of collecting evidence after Donbass and Crimea, but still we have some lack of experience. What we need to understand how to collect evidence in that way that this evidence could be presented before the trial at International Criminal Court. So, today state organization, public and private, like NGO, they're trying to collect evidence. So they're going to the crime scene, but sometimes they are acting without any coordination, which can have some damage and harm to the evidence base. So that is why maybe we can find a strict advice, very clear advice, how to do it properly.
You've worked with David Crane.
Yes.
He's got a model out there of, have you seen his model, and have you?
We're working together with on the digital collection of.
Okay.
So he presented to us the model, and we engaged, I think, up to 20 volunteers, and they're working based on this model. So thanks to David for sharing this model and experience.
As you look at your job now, which is a very important job, and you're here not only to present your case, but also to gather evidence yourself. You're gathering evidence of best practices.
Exactly.
And hopefully have a chance to meet those people who make a difference. 6 months from now, if you had as we interview you a year from now, what do you hope has been accomplished? This is, I know, looking in a crystal ball, Anna, but what do you think you hope to accomplish?
Before the invasion, you mean?
Well, no, 6 months from now.
6 months. Oh.
Future, in the future.
Okay, so so I'd like it, like in half a year, I'd like to speak to you about the restoration of Ukraine, about the investment to Ukraine, to infrastructure. I'd like to speak about the court proceeding against Russia, not just at ICC or ICJ, but let's say English court, how to seize the property of Russian Federation, of state-owned companies, and of individuals who are part of conspiracy of Russian Federation. So actually I'd like to see and to discuss the results of it. Mm-hmm. Or at least discuss the interim measures against Russian Federation and those who are part of conspiracy.
You mentioned your family, and without getting overly personal, what are they? How do you explain to them kind of what you're doing and what you hope to accomplish?
So I have 3 kids, 11, 10, and 2.5. So the older one are boys, and the younger is a girl. So my boys, you know, they are looking at all news, YouTube channel, so they know everything about the conflict.
Right.
So they just asking me very particular question, like what do you think, what military help should we ask for, what exactly the name. So they're quite adult, and the problem with the kids in Ukraine that in one day they lost their childhood.
Yeah.
And now they are adults. They're helping their parents, their relatives, and the most disgusting, crazy is that they are seeing all the crimes by their own eyes. And it's very hard for me to understand how to cope with this.
Yeah.
So I blame Russia not just for all atrocities they're doing now, they're causing, but for the lost childhood of the whole generation, of smallest and oldest. But we are, as I said, we are very brave, and we know what we are fighting for, not just adults, but children, kids. They're quite aware why they're doing this. So I see a bright future for us.
I see a bright future because of people like you. Yes, you're remarkable. And I'm so glad that you joined us here in Chautauqua, and hopefully over kind of a relaxed environment.
Chautauqua is a unique place. It's like a heaven with the unique architecture, people, environment, lake. So we used to have, and we are having actually now, but we can't spend time there. So we are having such places in Ukraine. And you are welcome to visit Ukraine once this disaster ends.
Well, we all hope it ends soon and favorably, and what you're doing is remarkable, and we're delighted you're here. And frankly, I'll be anxious to just talk to you off camera at the end of this time you're here, just to see if you hopefully accomplished what you wanted to accomplish.
I think definitely sure that I will get my answers.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.